and prosecutors and citizens and grand juries. It's starting to happen. We can arrest all these people. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I completely agree with you. And I also just wanted to have a short little comment on what Tyrel was talking about. You know, I don't believe that our system, capitalism, is within itself evil and the source of our problems.
Oh, no. Tyrel's a huge capitalist, and I almost elaborated when he said that. He's saying this isn't capitalism. This is a rigged monopoly system.
Right, yeah, just because the only thing I was going to point out is because these mega bankers, they don't have one system that they conform to. I mean, they go through all the countries, they go through all the systems and exploit every single one.
That's right. They call it a synthesis.
Yeah.
Very well said. Anything else, sir?
Well, you know, I still don't know how much time you have for me, but I do have a couple of stories that I feel like would be relevant to what we've been talking about with the police state, and also a personal story about my experience through being diagnosed with ADD as a young kid going into high school, and then being put on these ADD medications, just a bunch of different types of ones, and then how I got to college and I got off of them. And you know, it's like my brain had cleared. It was like I could see clearly. I mean, it was just like it was like the fog of war had gone. And
I know why people do drugs, not just kids they put them on. It's because reality is such a high that you almost want to take some alcohol or whatever the case is so that it's not so intense. You see, reality is the ultimate trip. To use a hippie term like, you know, LSD trip, reality is the ultimate adventure. God bless you. I think you just told your story right there, brother. All right, now, joining us is one of my favorite guests. He's Dr. Corey Gold. He is a syndicated talk show host in his own right, coming out of one of our great affiliates out there in California. And he's going to be joining us. I wanted to get him on to talk about solutions, because he's not just a dentist like my dad, but he's a nutritionist and got a bunch, and he's also one of the most successful proprietary developers of some of the most popular vitamin and mineral tinctures out there. And I'm just really excited to have him. We also have a big announcement we're going to make at the start of the next hour. We're not going to do that right now with Dr. Corey Gold, again, who joins us here today. I wanted to get him on at first to discuss just the incredible stuff that we see coming out. As you know, Doc, it came out 2 weeks ago that Merck knowingly was putting out vaccines that they knew actually had the measles, mumps, rubella in them. It's come out that GlaxoSmithKline knew a bunch of their drugs didn't even help people and were killing them. Now we have Monsanto trying to get total government liability to approve anything they want and to give them liability protection. And on the heels of all that, major Harvard study published in Federal Government Journal confirms fluoride lowers IQ. In more than a dozen studies that Harvard looked at, they found significant lower IQs in those who lived in the fluoride areas. The children in high fluoride areas had significantly lower IQs than those who lived in low fluoride areas. Now, again, they just call it fluoride. They put hundreds of chemicals in there. This was known in the Soviet Union when they first put it. By the way, that's mainline history. In the slave camp water, then the Nazis copied Stalin. The point is, folks, this is premeditated evil, and now they're getting caught on a weekly basis. But still they go forward. It's like they get caught, so then they just say, well, we'll just get liability. And by the way, in California, we're going to shoot your kids up with vaccines without parental consent. That's where Corey Gold joins us from KSCO land there in Santa Cruz. Doc, what do you make of all this? I mean, used to you'd have like a piece of news break like this every 6 months. Now it's every day or two. Is this a good thing, or are they just out in the open now? What do you make of the fact that it's coming out that you know, Big Pharma makes tens of billions with one drug a year and then pays a $100 million fine? What do you make of this?
Well, you covered a lot of ground there, Alex, but you're right. I mean, it's been known for a long time that if you put things into the food supply, you can control the public. And you're right, Nazi Germany, they were using things like fluoride in the water to control people. Soviet Russia, they were using things like fluoride in the water to control people. And you have to question why we're doing it here. There's discussion out in the open right now about adding lithium to the public drinking supply because too many people in America are depressed. And if we add a little lithium to the drinking water, we would have happier population like, Stedford people. So, government is controlling people by what they put in the drinking water. Look at in Chicago, they're confiscating homemade lunches that mothers and fathers make and replacing it with government lunches because government is telling you parents don't have rights to control their children's diets. Government's in charge of your diets. And to some degree, you can't run away from the food supply. So if they put GMOs in the food supply and fluoride in the water and lithium in the water, where do you run? Where do you hide to control your own life?
And notice this is all happening right as we gain so much momentum. Their answer is, oh, yeah, you don't like it? We'll hit you with 100 times more.
Well, just think about this. I mean, they're now telling people if you collect rainwater that falls on your roof in your home, it's illegal in some states to collect rainwater that falls on your own roof on your own home because the government owns the water that falls on your house.
Oh, yeah. Last year, they wanted to tax $2,000 per episode for any hay dust in a barn as if that's toxic, but then GMO can blow around everywhere in people's faces. All of this is supposed, fine and dandy. But I was seeing the Department of the Interior and others, they're even discussing runoff taxes, saying that you need to pay taxes just for rain that falls on your yard.
Right. They're looking to find any way that, water that falls on your yard, you should be taxed for because it waters your grass or waters your crops because the government owns the rain now. I'm waiting for the sunshine tax. It's like if you go outside and walk around, the government's going to charge you by the mile for the sunshine that you collect because somehow now they own the sun.
And by the way, don't give them ideas, Dr. Gold, please. I'm not even joking. Well, of course, Cass Sunstein says that the sun is not good for us, right, and that we're conspiracy theorists if we say it.
Right. The sun, which we all know we need to be. And I mean, if you ever go outside, you feel better on a nice, warm, sunny day. It feels good to walk out. Your body is designed to enjoy and use sunlight. It actually creates vitamins in your body. But, if you read public written documents by government officials, you think the sun was all bad and out there to kill you. And it's the government's role to prevent you from having sunlight.
And by the way, along that line, because we were joking about taxing the sun, Cass Sunstein actually said, if you say the sun is good for you, put a tax on conspiracy theories. He actually said tax saying the sun is good for you. So in a way, I guess that is a tax on the sun.
I don't know if I have any money left after being taxed, so I'm not sure what they're going to come after me for right now. But yeah, I believe the sun, unless you're sitting out there roasting in it, the sun is good for you.
Well said, my friend. I want to come back and look at some of the other big attacks on vitamin and mineral companies I know that are happening right now. And again, we have some big, and I mean big, breaking news when we start the next hour. And then about 20, 30 minutes after that, we're going to have an expert on mind control in studio with us. Even Larry Pratt of Gun Owners of America is saying that Aurora looks like it was staged. And now, as things intensify, we are really seeing the system come after our Second Amendment. Dr. Gold, I know you're a libertarian / patriot talk show host in your own right. Doc, what is your view on the open calls to restrict the Second Amendment now?
You have to wonder where you could see it coming right after the shooting that was out in Colorado with the tragic shooting. And we're learning more and more things that make it seem kind of crazy. It's looking more and more suspicious every day to me, what happened out in Colorado. But you knew 5 seconds after it happened, after your grief went away for the people that were shot, I was waiting for all the calls for gun control that followed immediately thereafter. It was basically the lightning struck and then the sonic boom that follows the thunder afterwards was more gun control. As we actually give away guns to Mexico. Look what's happening in Mexico. It's illegal to own a gun in Mexico, and there's more gun deaths in Mexico than almost any place in the world. So we should follow that model, I guess, according to the U.S. government.
Well, it's all about enslavement, and it's that simple. But as Time magazine had to admit we are winning the fight for the Second Amendment. The system is panicking. The public doesn't trust him anymore. So what does Corey Gold expect him to do next? We'll come back with Dr. Gold straight ahead. I'm Alex Jones of Infowars.com. Hi, this is Alex Jones. Dr. Corey Gold is our guest. We're talking about the attacks on farming, ranching, your own rainwater, gardens. They're going in Oklahoma and other areas and cutting down people's backyard gardens now, not just front yard gardens. They're arresting people all over the country with lemonade stands, not just fining them. They gave a guy 30 days in jail for collecting rainwater for his backyard garden in Oregon. And they're saying, you bet we're going to arrest you. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, they do not want you taking care of yourself. They want you under this medical mafia. And that's where longevity comes in at InfoWarsTeam.com. I mean, you've seen Aaron Dykes lose 92 pounds, and it's not even advertised with pollen burst and beyond tangy tangerine to make you lose weight. You just aren't as hungry. You know, I lost 40 pounds. And then haven't even been working out like I used to and have stayed there. If I worked out like Aaron does, I'd lose another 20, 30 like I need to. The point is I'm still a bit chubby, but I was getting downright corpulent or porpoise-like. The point is that that's a side issue, but everybody should visit InfoWarsTeam.com, where we have all of the great longevity products discounted. And there's a little special announcement up there on the site as well that we'll be making on the radio coming up at the start of the next hour. But getting back to Dr. Corey Gold, I mean, this really is about a revolution of taking our lives in our own hands and really coming out of this system. And that's where health comes in. They want us debilitated so they can sell us drugs that they know are making us sick.
Well, today the word in medicine is living with disease. It's maintaining with a disease state. It's not about preventing disease state. It's not about curing disease state. It's about living with disease. If you listen to a lot of these things, we have these drugs which will help you function normally or close to normally with these diseases that you have. And what we're all about and what your show's a lot about is how do you live without, how do you not get them? And if you have them, how do you have your body work to fix them the best you can? And that's where great things like water comes in, and that's where food supplies come in, and that's where vitamins and minerals come in, and that's where doing things that just make common sense, having pure water, eating clean, non-GMO food, having vitamins, minerals, nutrients, omega oils, it just makes sense. But yet you hear TV telling you that people talk about drinking clean water, and people that want non-GMO food and people talk about supplementing with vitamins and minerals are crazy people. And it's like they're turning the world upside down on their head. It's like what makes common sense is meant to be crazy. And when the world buys into common sense being crazy, we're in a weird place.
That's a good way to put it. I'm always trying to describe how these corporate brainwashers sell us on the idea that we're the weirdos. Right. They really are selling us on an upside-down world. They're like, yeah, the fluoride brain damages you, put it in your water for your kids. We're like, but you admit it brain damages. Shut up, conspiracy theorist. Drink it. But, you know, Dr. Dean Adele, he says you don't need those vitamins. Vitamins are bad. He actually says they're bad. Right. No, I'm not kidding. I mean, you do not need supplements. Studies show supplements are bad for you. I'm sure you've heard that.
Oh, yeah, no, that's been a saying for a long time. How could he be saying that as a health practitioner? But that's his worldview, and why, I don't know.
We'll be right back. All right, we got a big announcement we're going to make coming up after this break here in just a moment. You're watching at Prisonplanet.tv. The guys just kind of gave it away over there, but we'll be covering that coming up in the next segment. Dr. Corey Gold, radio talk show host, dentist, nutritionist, a major health food developer, just an amazing all-around guy, is our guest. I want to ask you about attacks on free speech, though, in this short little segment. UK police arrest man over Twitter insult, and he told one of the Olympic divers, you let your dad down. Hope you know that. I mean, that's just the nature of the internet. The guy's on a public forum. He's a public figure. He said he wanted to win for his dad. The guy said, you let your dad down. It's a nasty thing to say. The police have arrested him.